News and the stories behind the headlines. This is Torico on the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories you're watching this Tuesday, June 17. The Department of Migrant Workers says 109 Filipinos in Israel are seeking repatriation amid the escalating Iran-Israel conflict. Authorities are exploring alternative routes through land travel to Jordan or potential mercy flights. The DMW confirms that both documented and undocumented workers are included in the repatriation. Mr. J. Ruiz has been reappointed as Secretary of the Presidential Communications Office, or the PCO. In a statement, he reaffirmed his commitment to combat fake news and promote transparency in the government. Dizon also thanked President Marcos for his continued trust. Veteran lawyer Audie Bucoy has been named official spokesman of the House Prosecution Panel. Bucoy specializes in corporate and tax law, trial and appellate litigation, and intellectual property. He graduated from the University of the Philippines College of Law in 1984 and is currently the managing partner of Bucoy Poblador and Associates. The Armed Forces has confirmed the convening of a court-martial against a Philippine Air Force general. The officer is facing charges of rape through sexual assault and attempted rape involving two junior officers. The AFP says the accused remains in military custody as proceedings continue. Dismissed policeman and vlogger Francis Steve Fontillas was arrested in Quezon City yesterday. He faces sedition charges over Facebook posts allegedly calling for the overthrow of the Marcos administration. His posts came after former President Duterte's arrest by the International Criminal Court. And former Negros Oriental Congressman Arnulfo Tevez Jr. was rushed to a public hospital this morning due to severe stomach pain. Authorities say that protocols for high-profile detainees were followed. However, Mayor Janice slammed the hospital transfer as another delaying tactic, saying the public is growing weary of what she called judicial drama. Tevez is facing multiple charges, including the murder of Governor Roel Degamo. And of course, joining us today, ayun.
Happy rainy Tuesday.
Oo, topic daw.
Oo.
Ha?
Lakas ng buhos ng ulan.
Oy, kasi ang dilim kanina. Ang dilim kanina, parang...
Parang politika.
Oh, okay. Siyempre, nadikit niya doon, di ba? Iba ka talaga. You really are the political heckler. Di ba, Tita Ami? From the Philippine Star in Parañaque, Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan. Ami, take it away.
Oh. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday. Earth
low
Day
pressure
na Earth Day
area
ka.
yun, hindi yun political.
Earth Day na Earth.
Low pressure area.
Low pressure area.
Papalapit daw dun papalapit sa Romblon.
Earth month na Earth
Baka
month
daw
ka.
maging depression.
Teka, Ami, makinig rito. Meron siyang may fashion commentary eh.
Earth month na Earth month ka. Talaga nga, Earth month na Earth month.
The color of your dress is similar to the color of his mind.
Very masyadong yellow yung aking mind.
Yellow. Okay. Ikaw talaga, dalawan ka talaga.
Kapit na yung death anniversary ng aking boss eh.
Nga pala, no?
Oo nga, no?
Naisingit pa.
Malayo pa yun, ha?
Ang galing mo talaga. Naisingit mo pa yun.
Oo. Siguro kung nakikita na tayo ngayon, sabi niya, yari kayo.
Sabi nga ni Ami, yung sinasabi mong madilim ang panahon na nililate mo sa politika, hindi daw yung politika, low pressure area daw yan. Then again,
okay.
Sa politika maraming pressure ngayon eh.
Oo, maraming pressure yan. Corny.
Corny. Hindi daw makikialam, hindi daw magni-negotiate si President Marcos between the House and hindi siya magmi-mediate pala. Between the House and the Senate.
Oh, separate.
Yan yung clarification ngayon ng Malacanang.
Separate bodies
Wala
daw
daw
kasi.
ganon.
We have to keep up appearances.
Oo. So mamaya, story ko na mag-negotiate dahil guest na pareho eh.
Hindi, isa lang eh.
Ay, isa lang ba?
Isa lang. Isa eh.
Alam ko, pareho.
Total kasi nandiyan ka naman eh. Malamang ikaw na yung ikaw naman yung mag-ano yan eh.
Hindi ako magaling na negotiator eh. Disruptor lang ako.
Ikaw yung taga-ano, ikaw taga-palo.
Tsaka walang kinalaman ang Malacanang sa legislation, tsaka
Sa legislation?
impeachment.
Sa impeachment?
Legislation. Siyempre, meron yung Malacanang, may legislative agenda yan eh. Yung impeachment.
Bakit? Wala bang agenda sa impeachment na Malacanang?
Wala.
Whether for or against?
Well, yung official statement ni President Marcos, he is against. Yan.
Anong
Saka
balita
yung
mo
campaign manager ng alyansa, sinabi niya, talaga daw na against. Kaya lang, hindi yata nasunod dun sa House. No? What does that say about...
By
Well,
250
sinasabi naman ng Malacanang,
congressmen,
hindi nakikialam eh.
including the President's son.
Parang hindi maganda yung itsura nun. Na yung presidente against, tapos more than 250 yung bumoto.
Including his son.
Including the son and the cousin.
At pinsan niya, led by the pinsan and the son.
Oo nga.
And the son.
Hindi,
Yan
pero,
yung unang signatory.
pero busy ang kwan ngayon. Busy ang Malacanang sa kanilang kwan. Audit at saka review ng mga government officials. Kaya wala silang oras para dyan sa mga ganyan-ganyang mga away between the House and the Senate.
Teka, audit, review,
Yung
or interview?
PCO, merong yung PCO tinanggap yung 17 courtesy resignation sa PCO. Pero lower ranking. Ang na-reappoint dahil yung ad interim na-reappoint si Jay Ruiz. Pero yung 17 USEC and director level tinanggap.
Marami yata doon hindi na-appoint in this government.
Pero mayroon mga doon na may mga
Mga
galaxy
previous,
doon.
mga previous yata yan appointees. Yung marami ron.
Tsaka meron dun sa umpisa ng administration, di ba? Na magkasundo pa yung unit team.
Yeah.
Meron din doon.
Pero Bok, igagano ko lang ng konti dito banda pakanan ko So, pero ano talaga from what your bubwits are telling you is the palace really disinterested in the impeachment? Sasabihin mo sa akin parang nasa anong planeta ako?
Hindi, doon muna sa kwan. Anong kuweba ka ba nakatira?
At least kuweba na lang, di ba?
Kay Ami yung planeta eh. Kay Ami yung planeta.
Akin yung planeta. Saan kang planeta?
Akin kuweba lang eh.
I'm asking the obvious but in asking the obvious, I'm trying to elicit a response from our resident political
Hindi,
heckler.
mukhang okay naman no, na impeach. Unfortunately, natalo nga yung alyansa. Hindi naman natalo pero hindi siya nag-sweep. So nadagdagan pa actually yung posibleng
Yung mga
bumoto.
antay.
Remember, 9 lang ang kailangan to dismiss the case.
Yeah.
So, siyempre kailangan mo rin i-distansya yung kung gusto talaga ng presidente tanggalin yung partner niya, ex-partner niya, hindi ba? Kailangan naman may reasonable, siguro gusto nila ng reasonable chance na maaprubahan nga. Pero maliit kasi yung number ng votes to overturn. Tanong ko si Ronald, anong tingin mo ngayon? Sa bagong set-up ng Senate, Ronald, kung hindi pa bago magpresenta ng ebidensya,
Kung wala kasing existential battle between the Duterte and the Marcoses, pwede mo pang maunawaan na gusto nilang dumistansya dahil ayaw nilang madikit sa possibility na matalo yung impeachment.
Na matalo?
Oo. Pero
So
dahil
it's political deniability.
Pero dahil existential yung battle nila at pag nag-fail itong impeachment na ito ay wala nang susunod na impeachment before the next presidential election, ay if I were them, ako all in, tayang pato. Dahil nga survival yung battle. Inaamin naman ng mga Duterte na pag nakabalik sila, there will be hell to pay. Hindi sila nakakalimot. So, dapat that shouldn't be lost on the Marcoses.
Pero Bok, that is your recommendation. I mean, that is the ideal as far as...
Kung hindi existential ang battle, pero dahil existential yung battle, no, ay, pababayaan mo na lang na makabalik. No? Yun yung problema dito. Kung ito ay isang normal na away between political rivals, no, ay pwede mo pang maunawaan na as a public posturing, ayaw mo ma-identify sa isang possibility na matalo. No?
Pero nga, like what I said nga, what you're stating right now is would be your recommendation if you were asked na this is what you should do. In other words, the ideal from your point of view. But my question is not that. My question is, from what you're hearing, what really is the position of Malacanang?
Pabago-bago. Pabago-bago.
Kaya maak pa.
Pabago-bago. Minsan ganito, minsan ganyan. No? At hindi pa masyadong tumitining. Baka may 1.5 months ka bago makonvene yung 20th Congress. Diba? May 1.5 months ka. Kaya,
20th of
tingnan natin
July.
kung ano mangyayari. It will be pressure, counter-pressure. No? Halimbawa, yung isang mahalaga dito sa nakaraang linggo ay yung pagposisyon ng Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines on the issue. No? Bagamat simbahan yan at sinasabi
May
naman nila,
separation?
hindi sila nakikialam sa politika, pero yung kanilang moral leadership.
Saan kuweba ka ba na?
Siya pang taga-ibang planeta.
Hindi,
Siya pang
multiverse.
taga-ibang planeta.
Multiverse.
Multiverse.
Ibang multiverse. No? So, lalo na sa first week of July, magkakaroon ng plenary assembly yung lahat ng obispo. At tingin ko, masusundan yung statement nila last Tuesday, ng isa pang statement. If not, even before the plenary, magkakaroon yan. So, hindi lang yung mga protestante, National Council of Churches of the Philippines, ang gumawa ng posisyon. Hindi lamang yung evangelicals under Bishop Tendero, which is, by the way, yung Pope ng evangelicals. Hindi lang siya head ng evangelicals sa Pilipinas, kundi around the world. Gumawa rin ng posisyon. So, tingin ko itong next 1.5 years, marami diyang pressure, counter-pressure from all sides. Kaya, tingnan natin kung ano yung magiging non-position ng Malacanang. Dahil nga may separation kasi. Ito kasi si Ed, ang daming sinasabi. Tsaka ito si Ami.
I am here to inquire. I am here to take apart arguments.
May separation. Si Reg lang ang hindi naniniwala na may separation. Buti na lang, wala siya rito.
Teka, let's bring in another Reg. Our guest for today, we have Senate Impeachment Court spokesperson, Attorney Reggie Tongol. Sir, magandang hapon, Attorney, and welcome to Storycon.
Good afternoon, attorney.
Magandang hapon, attorney.
Thank you for joining us, sir. Sir, let me start off with this kasi, I just read this kanina. Nag-formal entry na yung mga Duterte lawyers, I understand, and this is quoting you from the inquiry, na nag-formal entry yung Duterte lawyers, submitted to the Senate Impeachment Court at 5 in the afternoon yesterday. Pero may napansin nata kayo na na sa page 3 na nakalagay daw na at 3:42 of that same date yesterday, there was a statement that says the House remark was tender copy refused to receive. Now, we haven't gotten the House to reply to this yet, pero from what you can tell and from what you know, what does this mean?
Siyempre, litigator din po ako, no? Abogado din po ako, at 20 years na ako in practice. At usually po yung mga ganyang pag nag-send ka ng liham sa kalaban mo o kaya naman po demand letter doon po sa sinisingilan mo at wala kang mapa-receive po doon na tao, ay itetender mo na lang po sa person of competent authority to do so. So, ibig sabihin po noon, may refusal po to receive. So, syempre nakakagulat din po yun kasi sa mga pahayag po ng ating House of Representatives, gusto po nilang tumuloy ito at bumilis ang mga proseso. Pero it seems na mukhang hindi po silang handa o wala silang opisina para magpa-receive po ng opisyal na mga service po ng mga pleadings ng magkakaibang panig, pati po ng depensa at saka ng impeachment court. So, alam na po natin yan, dinefer na po nila yung return po ng articles of impeachment sa kanila, tapos ayaw na rin po nila i-receive itong copy naman po ng formal entry of appearance. Of course, as a lawyer, you have to also think logically, ano po ba yun, no, yung pinapa-receive? Ito po ay isang formality lang naman po on the part of the defense para po mag-enter ng appearance. So bakit hindi po i-receive? So yun po dapat yung question din natin kasi medyo nabubugbog na rin po ang impeachment court for several days and weeks already. So kailangan din po natin ibalik po sa House kung ano po ba talaga yung kanilang intention doon sa hindi nila pag-receive nung copy na yon na galing sa mga kalaban nila.
Attorney, kahapon guest namin si former Chief Justice Puno. At ang sabi niya ay dapat hindi sagutin ng House yung remand ng Senate dahil hindi naman daw tama yung pag-remand at wala naman daw yon sa ating konstitusyon at mismo sa rules ng Senate. No? So, hindi naman ito pangkaraniwang abogado. Dati rin itong Chief Justice. So, anong mangyayari kung sakaling hindi nga sagutin ng House yung remand letter ng Senate? Anong mangyayari kung sakaling hindi sila papasok doon sa ganong klaseng framework?
Or indefinite deferment.
Dahil yun nga ang sabi ni Chief Justice, former Chief Justice Puno, na pag pumasok sila dyan ay delikado yung magiging posisyon nila.
Sagutin ko po yan, no, ng unang-una po, yung ganyang mga opinion ng iba't ibang mga tao po, mga constitutionalists, open po dyan yung impeachment court being part of the political process po ang impeachment. So nakakatuwa po na pinagdidiskusyonan natin yung mga ganyan, pero sa dami po ng mga may ayaw po sa ginawa ng impeachment court or yung mga nagbibigay po ng legal advice or kanilang haka-haka tungkol po sa mga nangyari doon po sa House at pati rin po sa impeachment court. Ganon din po rin naman ang merong mga counter-arguments dyan. Masasabi rin po namin yung argumento ni yung framer po ng Article 11 ng Konstitusyon na si dating Justice Ascuna na pumapayag po siya na nasa kapangyarihan yon ng impeachment court na gawin yung ginawa niyang pagraraman. At kung mababasa rin po ninyo yung Facebook ni Justice Ascuna, nandoon din nakalagay na dapat na doon sa compliance sa second order po, yung certification ng 20th Congress, kailangan ilakip doon ng 20th Congress yung articles of impeachment. So hindi po dapat dinedefer daw yung pag-receive o pagpababalik ng articles of impeachment sa House. So that is another point of view naman po na favorable doon po sa posisyon naman ng impeachment court. However, yung sinasabi po ni Justice Ascuna rin yun, kahit favorable naman po sa impeachment court, we can look at the proceedings that happened on June 10. At makikita po natin ang intention doon na wala pong physical na pagbabalik ng articles of impeachment. Ito lamang po ay constructive referral back to the House para po makapag-comply po sila at sila na po mag-determine. Binibigyan nga po sila ng kapangyarihan ng Senate Impeachment Court na to determine the constitutionality of their actions para hindi na po ma-question sa Supreme Court. So ito po yung punto na nakikipagdialogo po yung korte sa litigant, which is the House, na i-comply na lang po nila para tumuloy na po, umusad na po nang wala na pong any hiccups yung proseso ng impeachment. So kung isipin po natin, yung gawain po yon ng impeachment court was actually to fast-track the case at para mawalan na po ng any legal arguments, para mawalan po ng jurisdiction sa pagpapatuloy po ng proseso ng impeachment kapag nag-convene na po sila sa susunod na buwan po.
Pero parang ang sinasabi niyo, attorney, na pag hindi tinanggap ng House yung ganong klaseng remand, ay mauudlot itong impeachment dahil wala naman kasing sinabi si Justice Adolf Ascuna na kung sakaling hindi tanggapin ng House yung remand letter ay matitigil ang impeachment. Parang sinabi lang niya na merong ganong role yung Senate. Pero
Mr. Llamas, yes, doon po sa deliberasyon ng Senate po, wala pong ganon. So wala pong iniisip yung mga nag-move po at saka nag-debate po sa floor na kailangan po na doon kasama sa sertifikasyon ng 20th Congress naka-attach po dapat yung articles of impeachment para po masiguro, sabi ni Justice Ascuna, na walang dagdag po o binawas po doon sa nakalagay po doon at kung ano po yung sinagot ng impeach official na si Vice President Duterte ay yaon din yung ini-endorse ng 20th Congress. Pero doon po sa mga senator judges po natin, hindi po nila kinonsidera yun. So if you look at the intent of the senator judges themselves, ang gusto lamang po nila ay certification mula sa 20th Congress without actually hindi nila nire-require na may additional pa pong i-attach ulit yung articles of impeachment na physical copy. Kasi po sa mata po ng impeachment court, hindi po nawala sa impeachment court yung verified complaint for impeachment. Nasa kanya pa rin po, kaya nga po patuloy pa rin yung proseso na nangyari ng pagsasummons po at saka yung paghihintay rin po ng reply after po makapag-serve ng answer naman si Vice President Duterte.
So, Attorney, exact words is clarification.
Linawin ko lang kasi nagkakaanuhan naman tayo sa salita yung remand Ang pagkakaintindi ng tao kasi sa remand, binalik niya So you're saying,
Clarification.
yung ginamit yung na to remand, humihingi lang kayo ng parang clarification or certification
Or
or
assurance.
reassurance na sa tingin nyo, constitutional kasi alangan naman sabihin na attorney ng mga nag-file Hindi, naggawa kami ng unconstitutional something, di ba? Gusto nyo lang ng
po kayo.
papel na we
tama
are
po kayo dyan,
certifying. So hindi binalik. Hindi binalik
po kayo
si
dyan,
articles of impeachment.
Tama po. Tama po kayo dyan, Ma'am
Sa ngayon ba nakuha nyo na? Kasi meron din kami nakuhang report last week na nag-resolution daw ang House na i-certify na nga. Meron na bang nakuha ang Senate, either verbally or whatever, o nag-usap na ba si Speaker o si Senator Cheese, o i-certify na namin yan, eto pinasa na namin yung resolution, sinicertify namin, it's constitutional. Meron na bang ganon? Any communication to the Senate from the House?
Yun nga po yung nakakagulat at sinabi rin po ni Presiding Officer Escudero kahapon na puro press release lamang po. Dahil ito po ay formal na proceedings na po sa korte, may kinonvene na po na impeachment court. At yun yung nakakatuwa dito, no? So dapat formal na rin po na i-inform ang korte about any action of both litigants. Katulad po nitong sabihin na po natin na resolution na para sa mag-comply po dun sa unang hinihingi ng impeachment court. Wala pa pong formal compliance at filing po. Sinasabi rin po nila nung Wednesday last week, nung June 11, na magpa-file po sila ng motion for clarification or manifestation or clarification, sabi ni Attorney Bukoy kanina. Pero bakit po 5 araw na po ang nakakalipas at wala pa rin po yung mga ganong filings sa korte? Kahit po yung notice of appearance po nila, wala pa po. Maalala po ninyo, noong Pebrero, nag-file po sila ng appearance po yung mga House prosecutors. Pero hindi po nila final yun sa impeachment court dahil wala pa pong impeachment court at that time. It is just the Senate as a legislative body na binigyan nila ng kopya na yon. Hindi po automatic na i-endorse ng Senate as a legislative body to the impeachment court. It is the lookout of the litigants na sila po yung mag-ensure na formally ma-inform po yung korte. So sa lumipas po mula Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 at 5 araw na po nakakalipas, maging 1 linggo na po, wala pa pong any formal communication na tatanggap ang impeachment court mula sa House of Representatives at sa mga House prosecutors po regarding any actions for that matter.
Attorney, pero meron silang, in-announce sila nung Wednesday night, it's House Resolution 2346. The order said by the Speaker, at least dun sa from the podium, it was an order to the Secretary of the House to make it happen, to certify or that they crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, so to speak, as far as constitution is concerned. So what you're saying is hindi pa dumarating sa impeachment court yung papeles. That was since Wednesday pa kasi.
Wala po. I checked yesterday. I checked again also with the Secretary of the Senate acting as the clerk of court po. Wala pong any filing na gano'n. Wala pa po kaming natatanggap na any formal filing po mula sa House prosecutors mula po na nag-convene ang impeachment court. Yun yung nakakapagtaka eh. Sinasabi po nila na nagde-delay ang impeachment court pero mga abogado po tayo, alam naman po natin lahat. Ang compliance po at ang notice of appearance po, formal entry of appearance, napakadaling gawin po yan. 30 minutes lang po yan. Any lawyer worth his salt would be able to do it. It's already a pro forma filing for us lawyers. It's not even considered as a major pleading na pag ibinil mo yung client mo. So yun po yung nakakapagtaka. They keep attacking the Senate impeachment court for its actions without necessarily looking at their actions, kung ano po ba talaga yung rason kung ba't na-delay. Kasi kung gusto po nilang napabilis po na ma-inform yung impeachment court about the resolution that they did last June 10, they should have already filed kahit na nung June 12 na holiday yung kanilang filing. Alam naman po nila na inadapt na po ng impeachment court yung rules po on electronic filing in the lower court. So they could have filed that using email filing to the court dahil po ito ay kinukonsidera na hindi criminal case. So ang primary mode of filing po ay email. So I'm sure naman kung talagang masigasig po sila, they should have filed and emailed the impeachment court about about that resolution or kanilang notice of appearance. But as of now,
Okay.
7 days has already passed. Wala pa pong ganun.
Attorney, one more doon pa rin sa sa the second order of the Senate, the impeachment court. We just need clarity here. This is with regard to an assurance na the 20th Congress is going to pursue the articles of impeachment, if I recall correctly. My question is this, kasi there's some confusion here. Is the Senate impeachment court asking for an assurance from the 20th Congress when it convenes on the 28th of July? Or is the Senate impeachment court asking for an assurance from the 19th Congress that the 20th Congress will pursue the impeachment case? In other words, are we looking at an assurance from the next Congress when they finally convene in July? Or are we looking at this Congress committing the next Congress?
Napakalinaw po doon sa second order. Ang hinihingan po ng ratifikasyon ng actions po ng 19th Congress at ng Articles of Impeachment ay yung 20th Congress.
Okay.
So, kinakausap ng Senate Impeachment Court yung 20th Congress. Kasi po, nagkakaroon po ng issues po, di ba? Nagtatalo po ang mga iba't ibang legal expert, ang ating mga constitutionalists, lahat po sila may opinion regarding kung makakapag-crossover po ba o hindi. While the impeachment court already adheres to the adherence jurisdiction principle as espoused in many Supreme Court decisions, kailangan pa rin po na malinawan ang korte para lang po, yun nga, wala nang any hiccups po. Pagdating po ng convening sa susunod na Congress, ay wala na pong makapag-question, hindi na po ma-question ng any party kung bakit nagpapatuloy. Mawala na rin po yung legal issue na po yun sa harap po ng Korte Suprema dahil po iko-considera na siguro yun ng Korte Suprema by that time na moot and academic na po dahil gumalaw na po yung 20th Congress at niratify na niya na pwede at ito pa rin yung Articles of Impeachment na itutuloy namin na i-prosecute doon sa 20th Congress.
So malinaw po na sa 20th Congress ang sasagot niya.
Ang tinatanong at sasagot.
Ito lang po yung, well, my next question po.
Pero attorney, paano sasagot yan? It's the 19th Congress. You have to wait for the 20th Congress to start the session. Eh di, kaya siguro hindi makapag-file ngayon, nalilito yung 19th Congress prosecutors. How can they speak for the 20th Congress na hindi pa nga nag-umpisa?
Ma'am Ami, tama po kayo dyan, no? Pero kasi po, isipin po natin, bago po matapos itong 19th Congress, meron pong deadline ang House Prosecutors na mag-file ng reply po doon sa answer ni Vice President Duterte, which will siguro more or less around June 28 or June 30 po dahil weekend ng June 28. So, ibig sabihin po, itong time frame na po ito, meron pa po silang authority to file whatever filing that they want to file, such as a reply or yung motion na sinasabi nila for compliance. So, ngayon po, kapag natapos na po yung kanilang termino sa June 30 at yung susunod na kongreso na po, no, ang mauupo, no, bilang mga House Prosecutors, kasama na rin po dyan yung nabalitaan natin, na sila Congresswoman-elect De Lima at saka sila Congressman Chel Jokno, kailangan pa rin po ng House of Representatives na magpasa po ng resolution na nagsasabing ito na po yung bagong set ng House Prosecutors namin. So ang gusto lamang po ng ating Senate Impeachment Court, since gagawin nyo na rin naman yun, edi isabay nyo na rin yun yung ratifying the acts of the 19th Congress. Para po, hindi na po natin kailangan iasa lahat to sa Korte Suprema. Tayo na bilang legislative bodies, tayong House at saka Senate, ang mag-interpret na nitong konstitusyon na to kung pwede bang mag-crossover o hindi. Para po, pag umusad na po yung impeachment proceedings, hindi na po tayo mako-question at magpe-prevent po natin na magkaroon ng TR o kunwari yung Korte Suprema or i-grant pa po yung petition for prohibition na by that time na nag-umpisa na yung proceedings, biglang susundin ba ng Senado as impeachment court yung sinabi na yun ng Korte Suprema na itigil o hindi? So para maiwasan na po ang constitutional crisis, tayo na lang ang mag-decide nito. At yun po lang yung hinihingi ng impeachment court mula sa House of Representatives na medyo nagulo-gulo na po sa dami ng mga opinion. Pero yun lamang po yung kanilang intention.
So effectively, you're laying the groundwork for the crossover.
Tama
no?
po. Tama po.
Tama yan. But in the meantime, umaandar ba yung process? Well, nag-file na ng yung defense, ano? So, ibig sabihin, umaandar siya.
Yes, tama po. So,
Siya.
hinihintay na lang po natin, Ma'am Ami, na by Monday po, no, magpa-file po ng either answer with affirmative defenses yung depensa o kaya naman po motion to dismiss. Siyempre, alam ko po to dahil litigator din po ako. Sa korte po kasi kapag nag-umpisa na ang mga proceedings, medyo limited na lang yung mga pwede mong i-file doon. Alam mo na kagad yung mga susunod na mangyayari. So 5 days po from there, magkakaroon po ng karapatan yung prosecutors po na mag-reply naman po. So that's June 28 or June 30. At after po nun, joined na po yung issues dahil inadapt na rin po ng impeachment court yung rules po on pre-trial. Magsischedule po yung impeachment court within 60 days ng pre-trial. Pero dahil meron pa pong pangalawang hinihingi yung impeachment court, which is yung ratification po ng 20th Congress na maaaring mangyari lamang ng July 28, doon pa lamang po after that, ma-receive po ng impeachment court, makakapag-schedule tayo ng pre-trial po.
Attorney, ang sabi nyo, kung hindi magagawa ito, magkakaroon ng constitutional crisis. Yun yung exact words nyo. Anong ibig sabihin nun?
At kung hindi po magagawa yung yung compliance or ratification po, hindi naman po.
Yeah. Paano ginamit ito kasi yung word ay constitutional crisis to prevent
ang sinasabi po natin kapag
to prevent
nag-comply
a constitutional crisis.
Kaya po natin pinapakomply yung House po para po sila na yung mag-decide by themselves na tuloy-tuloy na wala ng legal impediment na ituloy ito. Kasi ito kaming 20th Congress, sinasabi namin na ito pa rin yung articles of impeachment na niraratify namin, it's buong buo in toto, at ito rin po yung ipoprosecute namin, may interest pa rin kaming iprosecute. So yun lamang po yung hinihingi. So kung hindi po sumunod po, for example, scenario setting lang po tayo bilang nag-uusap na rin naman po tayo, nagdi-discuss tayo dito. Kung hindi po mag-comply, for example, yung House of Representatives or House Prosecutors, pag nag-convene po ulit ang ating impeachment court, meron na naman pong either the defense will raise it as an issue na kung pwede bang mag-crossover o hindi, or meron na naman pong isang senator judge na maaaring sabihin nila, hindi nila kinumply ito, so dapat hindi ito magpatuloy. So ang mangyayari po ay madedelay na naman po ang proceedings at ang presentation ng evidence po. So yun po ba yung gusto ng House of Representatives na mangyari? Akala po ba natin gusto nating mapabilis ang proseso? So kung gustong mapabilis po ang proseso, mag-comply na lamang po. Hindi naman po sinasabi na pwede namang hindi kayo sang-ayon sa ginagawa, pero mag-comply muna po, di ba?
So,
Dahil
attorney,
po,
ang sinasabi niyo ay possible delay yung magiging resulta kung hindi mag-comply.
Kung hindi po mag-comply, because it will again be raised as an issue.
Not a constitutional crisis. Dahil pregnant with meaning.
And of course, because
pregnant with meaning
dahil wala pong compliance mula sa House po noon, walang sagot yung House regarding the ratification or kung magka-crossover po ba, na nakapending pa rin po yung question na yun before the Supreme Court. Decidean pa rin yun ng Supreme Court at hindi magagamit ng Supreme Court yung political question or yung non-justiciable grounds po dahil magsasabihin ng Supreme Court, titingnan namin kung ganon. So, pwedeng magkaroon pa ng granting po ng petition for certiorari and prohibition yung Supreme Court na habang umaandar na po yung proceedings sa impeachment court, anong mangyayari po doon? Susundan ba ng impeachment court na ipatigil yung proceedings o hindi pag sinabi ng Supreme Court? So once the House of Representatives does that official act po, it will go into the political question realm at magiging non-justiciable na po yung issue as to the crossover because the 20th Congress already decided for itself the constitutionality of the actions of the 19th Congress.
Attorney, when you refer to the Supreme Court deciding on this case, you're referring, I think, tell me if I'm right, you're referring to yung question raised by the Duterte camp earlier on pa about the one-year bar. Tama po, di ba? Pero my question is in particular to the second order of the Senate Impeachment Court, not the first. The first kasi medyo malino na yun . The second order being, ratify that the 20th Congress is intent pa rin on pursuing the impeachment. What if the 20th Congress says, hindi na lang. Yeah, of course, this is all hypothetical. But what it said, the 20th Congress says, hindi na lang, we have other things to do. There are more important things. For hypothetical lang. What happens then? Does that invalidate the original articles of impeachment filed by the 19th Congress? Does it invalidate the impeachment of the Vice President in the 19th Congress?
Napakagandang tanong po yan, Sir Ed, no? Hindi ko rin po kayo masasagot dyan. Of course, I have my own opinion, pero opinion ko lamang po yun. Katulad din po, I'm sure, when crafting that question, meron na rin po kayong opinion sa utak ninyo, diba? Hindi ko po masasagot yan. I do not claim to be a constitutionalist or parang legal expert on that matter po. So I think that is just one of the reasons na or one of the issues po for discussions na naman na maire-raise sa floor ng impeachment court, which we are of course trying to prevent para hindi na po ma-raise yung ganyan na questions.
Kasi
Attorney, may isa pa akong tanong na lilinawin ko. Kasi you are asking the House ng 20th Congress. What about the Senate in the 20th Congress? Kasi may mga bagong taong papasok Paano pag question nila yung Senate na yan na nag-crossover? Sabi nila kami mga bagong miyembro, ayaw namin yung itry Can they say that? Ayaw namin itry yung impeachment complaint na yan.
Ma'am Ami, that is also in the realm of possibilities. Hindi ko po masasabi na imposible po mangyari yan. Pero that is also in the realm of possibilities. That's why in order to foreclose any issue as to the crossover, sana po mag-comply yung 20th Congress or yung House Prosecutors at House of Representatives para po mawala na yung ganyang medyo doubts at issues po. So I think the senator judges, they are free siguro, no? Pag merong mag-raise po na any party, kung yung depensa, i-raise po yun. At kung may senator judge na mag-raise po ng clarification po on the floor, then I think it will still be discussed by the impeachment court. And we can only proceed po based on majority vote kung ano po yung magiging decision nila kung may nakahain na motion po before the court.
Okay. Well, attorney, medyo cambio ka ng konti. May iba pareho pa rin. Medyo ibang angulo naman. I'm sure you've seen on social media and in political circles na you've had a lot of comments about how some of the senator judges the actions of some senator judges even after the session of the impeachment court. For example, you had two senator judges who went with the Vice President to Kuala Lumpur, and there was even an endorsement of the Vice President's presidential candidacy in 2028. That's all on record kasi yung nag-post ng video si Robin Padilla. So may mga ganun. I'm wondering kung yan ba'y pinapayagan? Let me put it that way, para politically neutral. Yan ba'y pwede?
Katulad po sinabi ng presiding officer, no, alam naman po ng ating mga senator judges yung oath na tinake po nila.
Opo.
Hindi po policy ni presiding officer Escudero na mag-move po o siya mismo yung magsabi po doon sa mga senator judges, this being recognized by him as a political process. So kung ano pong aksyon ng mga senator judges, sila na po yung mag-handle ng consequences of their actions at pati criticism po ng mga tao sa kanila. Because matatanda na rin po sila and they are politically savvy supposedly. So because this is a political process, the public also has the right to criticize the actions of the senator judges. As to the end goal naman po on whether to inhibit or recusal, of course, hindi po rin natin tinitingnan yon dahil it might pose again a legal issue as to na para mapabagal na naman po yung proseso ng pagprepresenta ng ebidensya kung ito na naman po ay pagtatalunan sa floor ng ating impeachment court senator judges. So yun po yung medyo tricky balancing act na kailangan gawin po ng lahat po ng mga litigants dito pati po ng impeachment court. Kasi po syempre alam naman natin ng mga panawagan mula sa mga publiko na dapat magpatuloy at kung meron po silang agam-agam doon sa mga aksyon ng senator judges, then I think since this is a political process, then the accountability should come to the senator judges in the next election. But as to punishing the senator judges, wala po nakalagay sa Senate rules kung ano po yung maipapataw na penalty doon po sa mga hukom po yun.
Attorney, Attorney, doon sa press con nyo today, parang napag-usapan yung statement ni Senate President Chis Escudero na as an impeachment court, walang limits doon sa kanilang powers. Di ba yung Constitution tsaka yung mismong rules ng Senate is a limitation to that power?
Tama po. I think the presiding officer, ang point niya po doon, aside from the limitations na set by the Constitution such as the 2/3 votes and the penalty to be imposed on the impeached official should not be over and above removal and perpetual disqualification. And of course, nakalagay rin po doon sa Section 3, Paragraph 8 po, yung rules po, no? At dahil nagpasa po sila ng Senate rules, this is already a self-regulatory limitation on the impeachment court. At yung pag-a-adapt din po ng mga rules of the Supreme Court, na mga rules of court, ito rin po ay self-imposed limitations on the impeachment court. However, on the matters na vague po and ambiguous yung both rules ng Senate at saka yung rules of court po at yung Constitution po, katulad na lamang po dyan yung napag-uusapan recently, yung pagre-remand or pagre-return po o referral back. Katulad po nun, wala po talagang spesipiko na nakalagay kung may kapangyarihan ba o hindi ang impeachment court. So we have to look into the to the intention of the framers na dahil hindi nilagay yung mga specific circumstances na ganun to encompass lahat po ng mga pwedeng mangyari, then dapat maniwala naman po tayo sa wisdom, collective wisdom ng impeachment court when they do these matters to balance the interests of everyone po, including the public po in the whole process of impeachment. So, yun lamang po yung ginawa ng impeachment court. Ayaw po niya i-totally dismiss yung proceedings, ayaw niya pong i-totally terminate. Kaya po pinagpapatuloy niya at gusto niya lamang pong tumuloy yung proseso, kaya po siya humihingi ng ganong dialogue with the House Prosecutors and House of Representatives.
Okay. May mga nag-speculate, kaya daw nagkaroon ng spokesman ang impeachment court para tumahimik na nga yung mga senator judges. Valid ba yun? Pero ganyan mga comment eh.
Ma'am Ami, tama rin po yun in a way kasi po I think the impeachment court is also recognizing yung nakalagay po na self-limitation po nila sa sarili po nila nung pinasa po nila yung Resolution 39 or the Senate Rules on Impeachment dahil nakalagay po sa Rule 18 doon na as much as possible po the senator judges and even the presiding officer and all parties and the lawyers shouldn't talk about the merits of the case. And I think the presiding officer is of the notion na dahil wala pa namang merito ng kaso pinag-uusapan ngayon, ay okay lang na mag-discuss kasi lahat po tayo nag-aaral din po tayo ng history at ng constitution sa mga panahon na po itong ini-implement natin yung democratic processes po natin. Pero sa darating po mga panahon, kapag may presentation na po ng mga ebidensya, then maaari pong ma-implement na rin po yung Rule 18 na yon.
Okay, maraming salamat kay Attorney Reggie Tongol,
Attorney
ng Senate Impeachment Court. Sir, Attorney, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you po.
You're watching StoryCon on One News. We just need to take a break. We'll be right back. We've got developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to StoryCon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao, and of course with us, Ami Pamintuan of the Star, and Raul Llamas, our political star.
Palala yung mga intro mo
Bakit? Meron kang star. Meron kang star.
Ay, nalinawan ka na ba?
Hindi pa rin.
Hindi pa rin.
Well, some portions medyo nalinawan ako. Like yun nga, just to be clear about it, it's an order to the 20th Congress. So in other words, they'll wait for the convening of the 20th Congress on the 20th in time for the President's SONA After which they will, ratification ang hinahanap nila. A ratification from the 20th Congress that they will pursue the impeachment articles. Ang tanong nga what if they don't?
But in the meantime, yung number one question, pwede na mag-comply yung House. Di ba? Yun ang hinihintay nila.
Yun nga lang kasi nag-comply na yung House by passing a resolution as early as Wednesday. Pero hindi sila nag-transmit. Hindi sila nag-transmit. So may bara somewhere. Kasi,
siguro dahil nga yung iniintay yung clarification doon sa number 2. Dapat yata pinaghiwalay yung dalawang order na yon.
Maybe.
Diba?
Although kasi it was already official business kasi that was done in plenary and I remember the speaker announcing it dun sa from the podium from the speaker's podium.
Yun na nga.
Order
hindi yung in-announce niya yung resolution certifying that it's constitutional.
2346.
Oo. Kaya lang, they cannot speak nga for the 20th Congress.
Yeah.
So siguro dapat hiniwalay yon para hindi magulo, para malinaw ngayon na tuloy-tuloy na yung proseso.
Pwede,
diba?
pwede. Also, going back to the... So kahit pa paano, yung first order, okay na yon except lang hindi pa nila pinapadala. Isang linggo na hindi pa
wala
pinapadala.
pang formality,
But the second order is the one that might be a bit tricky kasi what if the 20th Congress, a new bunch of people, although I know a lot of them are from the old Congress, but what if the 20th Congress, after seeing the results ng election, seeing the survey results, that, what if the 20th Congress says, huwag natin nabulin to, baka matrouble tayo? O paano
baka yun ang mas pagkiling dahil karamihan naman sa magiging 20th Congress galing doon sa 18 na nag-remand.
19. Hindi, isa pang tanong yan. Can the senators,
yung House,
diba?
Yung Senate.
Diba? They want the House to ratify in the 20th Congress the impeachment.
Hindi, overwhelming naman na natili naman yung nag-impeach. Overwhelming naman kung merong mga bago, hindi ganun karami.
Hindi kaya nagbago kanilang mga pananaw dahil sa political atmosphere ngayon.
Well, 3 taon pa rin.
Pwede bang sumunod yung 20th Congress sa 19th Congress? Senate ng 19th Congress yun kung sabihin ng 20th, House ng 20th Congress, bakit kami susunod doon? 19th yun.
Actually, ibang issue pa yan.
Senador yun ng 19th. Hindi. I'm just asking. Mga abogado yun alam mo naman dito. Mga technicality Can the Senate of the 19th Congress order the 20th Congress? Kasi iba yung composition ng Senado sa 20th Congress. Di ba?
Yeah.
Well, ayun diyan nga lumalabas yung mga opinion Dahil ang sinasabi nung iba ay wala silang choice. Dahil na-convene na kasi yung trial court. At dahil na-convene na, nagpo-continue lang sa 20th Congress. Kahit nagpalit yung ibang mga judges. No? Yun yung parang yun yung parang
mas mukhang tama yun, It's the court asking.
It's korte na siya. Hindi na siya
It's
Senado.
The court asking, not the senators.
But in which case, why are they asking the 20th Congress to ratify the articles that were passed by the 19th Congress?
Kaya nga sinasabi ng iba, hindi dapat sinabi yon. Dahil ang premise mo, continuing siya. As a continuing, huwag mo nang tanungin. No, kung sakali yung 20th Congress ay ayaw,
kaya nga di ba?
Berde na ng 20th. Berde ng 20th Congress yun. Hindi na berde ng 19th. Pero yung 19th dapat hindi sinabi
dapat dapat din ang tanong.
They cannot speak for the 20th
yun ang sinasabi naman.
Good, no?
Kasi yung prosecution team, individual yan Hindi yan yung buong House.
Hindi yan yung buong House. Tsaka,
individual person siya.
Tsaka hindi na siya yung trial court Yung continuing kasi yung trial court Di ba? Yun yung continuing.
Oo nga.
Which is the same.
Pwede ka naman magpalit-palit ng prosecutor.
Oo. Yun yung kaibahan doon.
Pwede yan.
Okay. Naging mga learner doon naman tayo.
Tayo nagtatanong we're expressing the questions.
Pero mas maganda kasi
non-lawyers are asking.
Maganda kasi next time, pagsabayin natin dalawang opinion. No? Hindi, di ba? Para,
You mean the spokesman ng Senate saka spokesman
hindi
ng
lang,
House?
pwedeng dalawa na
May
magkaiba.
spokesperson din naman House
Oo, hindi. Invited nga siya, kaso nag-beg off kasi meron daw prior commitment. Sayang nga sana di ba? Okay sana na
Pero imbis na
Hindi sila na sana nag-away dyan.
pero imbis na magkasunod, mas okay din na magkasabay. Paano pag magkasunod, parang hindi mo rin nasasagot di ba?
Oo,
Tapos
kasi,
na
paano? Balikan na ng isa.
Di ba? Di na pwede gano'n di ba? Uy, sinabi nga pala ni ganito. No, gano'n, di ba?
Pwede bukas. Bukas naman niya isa.
Kung gano'n. Parang yung,
Mahaba pa naman to eh.
parang yung ginagawa namin ni Ed minsan nagdedebate kami. Parang safe house. Parang safe house. Kahapon nagdedebate kami 5. May 4.
Yan ang problema pag ano eh.
Lalo na, nandun si Hidaria, nandun si Lord, nandun si Patrick, 4 na na ako. Hindi, 3 usti lang pala.
Oo nga.
Tatlong uste, 2 UP. Walang Arneo.
Huwag kang ganyan, baka marami mag-guide sa atin. Okay. Ba't tao, ilang dekada ka nang wala sa universidad, inuhugot to pa rin yung mga ganyan. Kaya talagang mga resulta mga...
Hindi mo napapansin na nakaka-apekto sa kondukta yung pinanggalingan mo.
So, ano yung sabihin? Galing sa mga praile na eskwelahan. Anong sabihin nun?
Mas flexible.
Kami mga hindi atinisi at mga ateista.
Mas dogmatiko.
Si Ami, taga-UP yan eh. Sige na nga, goodbye na tayo. Baka matrouble tayo di oras eh.
Taga-UP, wala lang.
Wala lang. Chill lang tayo, chill. Sige, goodbye na tayo. Thank you for joining StoryCon today. Aming pamintuan ng editor ng Philippine Star at Tito Rol Llamas, our resident political star. Just again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the StoryCon. I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.